Do you find it difficult to focus on your customers and even your own employees as you're juggling numerous vendors? Do you have more meetings with vendors than you can count? And do their reports filled with technical jargon make you feel clueless and frustrated? Such is the story of Nathan. Being at a car dealership, he's concerned about his store's digital marketing presence and invests most of his time dealing with vendors to promote his business and gain more sales and market share. Nathan is busy handling reports and reviewing them, not knowing what is happening on the advertising front and about his true ROI. Poor Nathan is worried but can't figure out a solution until he found BZ Consultants Group. BZ Consultants stepped in and was able to take the digital marketing vendor burden off Nathan's plate, giving him peace of mind that the best interest of the dealer was always top of mind. Being an unbiased third party, BZ Consultants always made sure to relay the reports in easy, relatable, and actionable ways so that Nathan could best utilize the data. Now, Nathan can focus on what he really wanted, the customer experience and growth. By being your digital marketing business partner, BZ Consultants Group will remove the hassle of trying to hold your vendors accountable and increase your productivity with the time you will now have armed with true data. Together, we make it possible because your success is our goal.
Well, welcome into Facts Not Feelings, and you're probably looking at the screen saying, wait a second, Brooke, you said that Martha was going to be on the live stream today, and she was. You're right. I did not lie to you. Last night, I got a text from Martha, and she is enjoying a much needed vacation. And as we were texting last night, she goes, Brooke, finally, I'm doing something for myself. So I'm so excited for Martha. She is on her way to, in fact, I think right now, Martha, if memory serves me, I think you're actually flying to Italy right now. So I'm so happy she is taking a much needed vacation. So good news is she took some time for herself, and maybe bad news. You only get me. I'm not sure if that's good or bad news, but we're flying solo, but do not fear, ladies and gentlemen. I do have her main takeaway. So we will get into that. But before we do, I want to say, Larry, hello to you. And Martha in spirit says hello back to you. Russell, this is going to be a good one. Martha is an amazing talent, and she is. And I still have her top takeaways. So while she is not here, in person physically, she is here in spirit, and she will chime in the comments once she does land and when she gets, back into the work thing. So she will chime in later on. Russell, you've got comments coming to, hey, Russell, I'm sorry. This was like last minute. I found out last minute she was planning to be here, but she's taking much needed vacation because we all get so sucked into our lives and into work that so often we just don't take vacation. I go, please take vacation. Do not even remotely worry about this. Don't worry about it at all. And Martha, very much enjoy yourself, Martha, on vacation. So when you get back and watch this, Martha, yes, you needed the vacation very much. Solo Brooke is still awesome. Well, thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate that. I don't have tights. Unfortunately, I don't have a superhero costume, unfortunately, but I will still try to rock. I have my Facts Not Feeling, which is kind of like a superhero costume. So we'll take that as well. It's good to see you, Russell and Brian and Larry and everyone else chiming in here into the conversation. But before we jump in to the amazingness of the takeaways from the episode with Martha that dropped yesterday, there was a poll that went up last week, and we had such incredible engagement on it of what to call this Facts Not Feelings post show. And I have to reveal what all of the comments that came in, everyone that chimed in and said, hey, I want number 1, I want number 2, I want number 3. We did a poll on LinkedIn. We did a poll on Facebook, and my goodness, there was so much response. And I also have to say the write-in comments, there were some incredible writing comments. So before I reveal who won, I just want to go over some. I've got it pulled over to the right here of some of the writing comments of that, of the fired. We had Fire Up with Furnace, and we had like Fired Up with Furnace. We had not Firing Furnace, Fire Up with the Furnace, Firing Furnace. And then Amy Peck goes, you're kind of fiery, Brooke. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Some of the other ones we had were Sparks with Furnace, Fiery Furnace Breakdown, Hot Takes from the Furnace, Furnace Blazing Unfiltered Hot Takes, Cool Takes with Fiery Furnace, For Real with Furnace, Fire Up the Furnace, Stoking the Furnace. Wendy, if you're watching right now, this one's for you because there's many takes you can do on this one. Is the furnace is lit, and this one had me rolling, and it was the for furnace sakes. That one got me as well. But without further ado, we're gonna throw up here the one that actually won, that had overall on both Facebook and LinkedIn had the most votes. So total that up. This one's the one that won. So the one that won, and this one was actually Robert. You were the one that actually suggested this one. Furnace Fast Lane. So the post show, the recap show, the Facts Not Feelings is now going to be called Facts Not Feelings, but it's the Furnace Fast Lane. This is the one that won. So Robert, thank you so much for suggesting this one, because that's the one that won, man. So if it was that, I said all along that this would be up to everyone. Yeah, Brian, you actually have Brooke Cooks. Someone had put Chris from CDK, well, it's now Synchro. He had put some like the Chef's Kiss. So we had so many going in there, and I couldn't put them all. I'm like, this will take the entire show to list every single one that people had put in there. So there are a few other ones that I had put previously, but due to the way that my brain works, I go, probably can't do those because of the double meanings on them. So we had so many great entries, and so just thank you so much for everyone that put your input on there and said, hey, I want number 1, 2, 3, 4, all the ones in there. And I really said I leave it up to you. So Robert, and this is the Robert that suggested the one that won. So Robert, thank you so much. That resonated so well. So I so appreciate that. But with that, let's now jump into Martha's incredible episode. If you've had a chance to listen to it, I want to know your takeaways. What was your main takeaway from her episode about genuine customer care? Because we've done shows on leadership, we've done shows on culture, we've done shows on things of those natures and areas of those topics. And as I kind of go through this and we talk about what my takeaways were and what her takeaways were, I want to know in the comments with you. Amy Peck is saying here, fiery, darn it. Don't worry, you're still going to get the fiery furnace. It's okay. Don't worry about that. I want to know what your takeaways were, because this was such an incredible topic as she broke down so many different areas of how she works with it, and that genuine, and not just doing it because you have to do it or to check a box. I really love that. And Robert, thank you. You say you're welcome, but really, thank you. So thank you so much, Robert. So let's dive into this. So I'm actually going to start with hers first off. I'll start with her number in no particular order here, but the first one that we'll throw up here was on hers was, as much as we need to care for our customers, we also need to care for our employees. Their mental health, it is important, as they won't be able to care for others if they are struggling. And I absolutely love that was one of Martha's takeaways here, because it's so important. As I'm going to leave this up here for a hot second here, is that too often is that we look at and say, yes, the customers are so important, but if we forget to focus on our employees and make our employees number one, when the employees, we put them first, they're going to put the customer first. And to add on to that, she added that, hey, if we don't look at their mental health, yes, physical health is super important, but that mental portion of it, and that mental health is a lot of times it gets taboo, and we're talking about it more, and that's great, but we have to focus on that. Look at those cues. Hey, are they a little more quiet today? Maybe they're acting out a little bit more. Give them that mental break. Look into that. And I love that she brought that up. So are you doing that currently with your employees? Are you currently doing that as a manager? Are you looking at that? Are you looking into that? And if you're not practicing that, that's a really big one. So I love that she put that in there. That was a really big one for me as well. Jordan Cox is coming in here and saying, fiery Friday with BF, everyone's BF. Yes, Jordan, that is very true. I love it. And so as she had that portion of it, I wanted to say that from the culture part of it, for me, just that genuine care. I love that she kept talking about that genuine care portion of it, and not just faking it. And now, are we just doing this just because? And so the empathy portion of it, I love that. So often I'll say sometimes I get overlooked, or it's used as a buzzword of, oh, I have empathy, but do you really know what empathy is? And that was one thing that I really liked as well, as we talked about having that being an impact on customer relationships, because if you have empathy, once again, for your employees, but that will lead to empathy with the customer. So overall, having that leading to business success. Now, sometimes like, oh, I can't see that on a transaction, or I can't see that on a spreadsheet. Well, it is long term that's going to lead to success. And her and I both had the same thing of having it from starting from the top on down. So I'm actually going to pull up her next one here of, if I can find it here. Starts from the top on down. Oh, and I've still apparently have Jordan. Your comment was so great, Jordan, up here. That I just left your comment up here. That's what happens when you're flying solo, is that things just happen. So let me throw this down here real quickly here. So Martha's other one here says everything starts from those holding leading roles. Our employees will care as much as we show them we do. It's an everyday practice and a culture that needs to nurture at all times. And I love that how she phrased this. I loved everything about this, because so often we think it's a one and done thing. Oh, we had a leadership training and we're done. We don't need to do this again for a year. We can check the box. We're good to go. That's not how leadership works. That's not how empathy works. That's not how any of these things work. It starts from the top. We have to constantly be honing that craft. You have to constantly be working this every single day. It's the same thing with any sport. Same thing with working out. We have to constantly be working those muscles. We have to go to the gym. We have to, you all know I'm a sports person. So if I want to be good at anything, I have to constantly be working at that, whatever skill that is. I'm not just good overnight. I have to constantly be working that, constantly working at it, constantly working at it, constantly working at it in order to perfect and be amazing at that. And it's the same thing with all of these things. So I love that she said how she phrased that, but to constantly be working at it and working and working and working and working it. Got one more comment coming in here real quickly. And then we've got some more. Brian fired up with the front. Well, Brian, it's interesting how you phrased that right there. You said fired up with the furnace, but you've got the FU in there pretty strong. And I think, Brian, I don't know if you were listening to the show. We're going to go off script here a little bit here, go off the rails here, but it's a live show, so we can do this. Is that anytime that I say my name and I have to spell my name, especially with a representative, I have to be very careful how I spell my name. Because if I'm a little upset, it's always like FURNISF, or it's FUR. So it's interesting how you spell that. You just never know. You have to be very careful how you spell that. We've got Jordan Cox saying is EQ is greater than IQ. Amen. I will take someone with emotional intelligence over IQ any day. Like it's so important to have that EQ and emotional intelligence every day. Russell is saying her backstory and what she went through, they are just amazing. She runs her own race and stays in her lane. However, what I do know is she has more support from the dealer and managers from the different departments. And Russell, I'll go on to say a little bit is that her and I had been talking for about an hour offline before we ever hit the record button. And having that story, being able to talk beforehand before we ever hit record, led to a greater conversation, because I was able to hear more and more about how she does things from a process standpoint, and how she says, especially from a process standpoint, that if she hears something on the phone, or she does just anything of how her people are working and how they're interacting, it's like, hey, let's stop right now and let's learn from this. And it's not like, oh yeah, you suck, let's rub your nose in it. No, it's like, hey, how can we learn from this? How can we do better? How can we improve? And it's a constant. Or she hears something and knows one of her team members are maybe a little out of sorts. So it's like, hey, let's take a break. Go to lunch, go do something, walk away. You just need a break. So I love how she's constantly just thinking about her people and putting her people first, so that they can then put others first. And her mind is always that way. And it always is thinking about how can I better my people so they can better the rest of them. And her mind is always working that way. Jordan is saying, Brian Ortega see, Jordan, Brian, that's exactly what I just said there. Exactly what I just said. And Brian has said, yeah, it stands for Fordham University or Florida University. One of the two. We're not really sure. It could be for either or. By the way, go listen to Neo's Florida University song. And I'm just going to leave it at that. On that note, we'll go with that one. But Russell, to your point, her mind is constantly working in that direction and always thinking, how can we improve our employees so they can improve the customer journey? And with that, you can never fail when you're thinking about how you can put other people's first. And yeah, just put that up there. So going on to her next takeaway is I think we didn't put did we put dig in? I think we didn't do this one. If we did, I don't think we did this one. Is we need to not just talk about providing a better experience for actually act on it. Dig in and find out the loopholes of the process that can lead to an improvement in holding everyone accountable. I don't think we did this one. So that was for other one, and that kind of just goes back to what we've been saying this whole time, is that to have that better experience is dive in, dig into this, and figure out what is it. Whether it's hey, I heard a conversation and you said something and we can learn from it, or hey, I can see that my employee is struggling, or it might not be it's those nonverbal cues that you can see something, or it's just digging in. It really is, and figuring out from a process standpoint, or hey, from a BDC standpoint, where she runs a BDC, of hey, the CRM, I know the CRM is telling you to do that, but you really don't need to do that. How can I constantly be improving? As Stephen Apicella and I talk about all the time, we're just saying, okay, great, now what? Great, now what? Great, now what? When you have that mindset of like, okay, we've done this, you're never ever done. Success is like, oh, I've achieved success. Now what? With that, when you look at all what we do in our industry, are you selling every single quote unquote lead that comes to the door? No, you're not. No. If you are closing 100% of every single opportunity that comes through your website, if you're not, which no one is, to my knowledge, I've never seen in my day 100% of opportunities that come through your website get closed, you have room for improvement. At best is what, 20%? At best, maybe 30%. I would love to see a dealership that's closing 30% of their leads. That'd be amazing. But usually it averages about 20%, right? So you have 80% of growth you can do. So there's always room for improvement. So how can you improve your employees, which means how they can then improve how they are interacting with the consumer? All right, let's get to some comments here. We've got Brian, apparently I keep clicking on your comment because it's so amazing here. We've got George that says, Martha knows how to pour into her staff so they can pour into their customers. Yes, so true here. And Russell is saying true that, Jordan. I was going to say mic drop moment there. Such a mic drop moment there. It is. And as Martha does it, you can do that as well. Like there's so many ways to do it, but it's just, once again, it's surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you, that are better than you. Like I know where my faults are, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to hire someone that does something better than me. I'm going to hire someone that does this better than me, that does this better than me. And then they know that they can come to me and like, hey, Brooke, you know what? Oh, that was that. You probably should have done this better. Great. They know that they can come to me and tell me when I'm doing something that might not be so great. We got Kyle coming in and saying, send us all the stream link. The stream link for what? Send us all the stream link. Kyle, are you talking about the YouTube link? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. But I would love to send it. Are you talking about Martha's link? Or I would definitely love to send it. We got Russell saying she's a true servant leader. She 100% is. She is massively a servant leader. I love everything about how she is just going back to that, 100% going back to that. She is always looking to serve. And so when she reaches out and says like, hey, can you help? Or can you help me with something? You're always wanting to help her because she's always helping other people. So going back to the last night when she texted, I was like, Martha, no, take some time off. Like, man, you of all people deserve a moment to take some time, catch your breath, and just chill. Like, take some time. And I believe she's taking some time also like away from her kids too, which is nice. Like, oh yeah, that's like a true vacation. You get a time just to breathe, which is awesome. I'm very, very excited that she's got some time to chill and just thank you everyone for once again chiming in, being a part of this, and for, like I said, now we have, hold up, Jordan, I got you. In the words of Fred, our cup runneth over when we can pour into others. Amen. And Roberto, thank you, Roberto. Thank you. Super, super appreciate it. It's the show is going to be, it's great because of all you. It's people because of you all, because of Martha, and it's because of all you. And now we have a new name because of all you. So thank you again for all the interaction and for the engagement. I super, super appreciate it. Now we've got a stack lined up for the next couple months here. We're right now, I think we're booked out like 2-3 months right now. So super, super excited. We've got some people chiming in right now that are going to be on the show over the next little bit. So super, super excited about that. And Brian, I've got to send you some stuff here. I just reminded me. So thank you for chiming in. It just jogged my memory. I got to send a link over to you. So super appreciate that. Everyone, I so appreciate you as always. I'm just so grateful for all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I know there's some craziness going on right now. I've got lots of friends in Hawaii. So prayers out to Maui right now. Maui holds a very, very special place in my heart for a lot of reasons. So everyone just be safe today. Tell your loved ones you love them. And as always, you all know I'm going to sign off like this. Find a way to serve today. Find a way to just be the joy in someone's life today, whether that is a kind smile, whether that is opening a door for someone. Just find a way to just be someone's joy, to smile, do something to make someone's day to day. And before I sign off, I've got Jordan. Thank you so much. Roberto. No, that's Robert. Thank you so much. Super, super appreciate it. And just, we've got Robert, we got Jordan. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Everyone have an enjoyable weekend, and we'll see everybody next week.